Hey guys, thanks for joining us for this episode of Gospel of Two Wheels. In this episode, we're going to talk to Jamie Nance from WESTCORE, which is our local trail advocacy group. Jamie and WESTCORE are doing an amazing job of keeping our trails open, clear, and rideable. They're working with the Forest Service, they're working with the BLM, and they're doing a great job making the motorized community look great. So enjoy this episode, share it, like it. If you like this channel, please subscribe. It means a lot to us. It really, really does. And make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below telling us what kind of stuff you want to hear on the Gospel of Two Wheels. We do this live every Thursday on our Facebook page, but then repost it here. So if you guys want to hear about anything, we do product reviews, we talk to locals, we talk to some famous racers, things like that. Leave us a comment, let us know what you want to hear about, and yeah, enjoy the episode. Hey everybody, here we are coming to you from the Highland Cycle Studio. This is Morgan and
Jamie Nance.
There we are. I always catch them off guard like that. Coming to you for the Gospel of Two Wheels, number 42. So Jamie is here with WESTCORE. Jamie, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're doing.
My name's Jamie. I live here in Montrose, Colorado. I've been riding in this area. Well, I've been living here since about 76 and riding here about since I was 15, 1988, the Adobes and everything. And this place, and from working here and being here is just incredible. I mean, the amount of people that come here spend days trying to get here to this area. And when we started riding, there was an older group of guys that would clear trail for us, and they were kind of the originators of the trail system up there back in the late 70s. They would just take care of the trails, and they didn't ask for anything, and it was just part of the gig. You want to ride it, you help maintain it. And anyway, those guys have kind of since retired, and about 10 years ago, we picked up the chainsaws and started getting after it. And December 2017, we finally decided that we need to just kind of get on board and get legal recognition. We were doing the work, but everybody knew who was doing it, but nobody would admit to who was doing it. So in December 2017, we formed a 501c3 nonprofit called WESTCORE. So now we are working with the Forest Service and the BLM. We have volunteer agreements. A couple of us are Sawyer trained, so we're legally able to run chainsaws and be covered by insurance and be up there a little earlier before the season opens, doing the maintenance and work for those guys. And so far, the response has been great.
Awesome. And what does WESTCORE stand for? Because it is an acronym.
Western Colorado Riders and Enthusiasts.
Right on. Because you guys are doing a really good job, I think, of trying to include all user groups.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not just moto. We're talking about everybody.
Yeah, there's so many of us. I mean, motorcycles are kind of my first love, but I also ride mountain bikes not very well, and I ride four-wheelers and kind of do all things. I like hiking on trails with my dog, and our goal is to be able to keep multi-user trails open and accessible for all user groups. That like that level of trail and that width of trail for sure.
Awesome. So. Yeah, these guys have been doing a really good job, and it has been a huge deal. I've known Jamie for a long time, and like he said, they've been clearing trails out here forever. They've been doing all the work out with the chainsaws, burning tons and tons of gas, and it's really cool to have an actual legal group that can go do it and represent us, the motorized community. Like I said, they are for everybody, but it's definitely representing the motorized community in a really positive light.
Dirt bikes are our first love.
Yeah, dirt bikes. So if you guys have questions, definitely shoot them here. So actually, let's talk about this. You got a Yamaha grant.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so when we first started out, we were starting out with basically buying saws out of our own pockets, out of our own dollar, we're just starting with little mini homeowner saws, and we use those for a lot of years, and they do okay. They'll get the job done, but then you see some bigger saws and some better stuff out there. We basically got to the point where we had outgrown our tools, and so we put in for a grant from Yamaha. Since we're a nonprofit now, they gave us a grant for $4,200, and now we have basically fuel injected saws,
nice.
High-end wildland firefighter backpacks to carry them in safely. We were kind of carrying them a little hokey, but now so we've got basically four saws, 4 backpacks, 4 sets of PPE, and also we've got some ATV style boots with the gripper soles on them. So working a whole lot safer. But yeah, Yamaha came through. Yamaha Outdoors hashtag. They killed it for us. So yeah, things have been good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're kind of slowly growing and slowly expanding, and like our tools are getting better, and our methods are getting better. And like I said, we 3 of us now have taken the 4-day Sawyer chainsaw class as required by the government. So now we can be covered by their insurance and meet the criteria of their volunteer agreement. So things are going good. Yeah.
Awesome. So you talk about saws. There's a bunch of guys watching this are gearheads. What kind of saws are you talking about? Because I know, normal steel,
don't mess around.
Whatever. What model saw are you guys running?
We've seen all levels of saw, like I say, from the basic $200 steel MS 180 that we used for a lot of years, all the way up to some big Magnum saws. Our biggest thing was weight. We all bought 271 $450 saws out of our own pockets to cut with. They work good, but the saws we're currently running that, like I said, when money didn't become an object and Yamaha says we're paying the bill, we bought still 241s. It's the smallest pro level saw they make, so it's a 16-inch bar. It's got all the weight of our small homeowner saw, but all the horsepower of our big farm and ranch saw. So they're, nice. Like I said, they're electronically carbureted. Those things rip. For power to weight ratios, as good as it gets.
Nice. And you guys carry them in a backpack. What? Does everything go in the backpack? Gas, bar oil, all that stuff?
Yeah, some of the guys will run their own their premix. I like premixing, fueling my saw off my bike, so I run AMSOIL and just run it right into my saw and haven't had any issues with it. I carry bar oil, a toolkit. I usually ditch my normal riding gear toolkit and stuff just because it's so heavy, and we're typically riding a little slower. So as time has gone on, we've kind of gone towards getting lighter and a little more streamlined and carrying less gear.
Right on.
So.
And you always go with 2 guys?
2 guys. Okay. All the time. Safety. And, and even if someone shows up and they're not able to physically move logs, I just want someone to where if something happens, somebody can go get help,
Make the phone call.
Absolutely.
Push the button.
Yeah. Scream help.
Scream help.
Call me in my other job.
Really loud. Yeah. So where can people learn more about WESTCORE? If they're just watching this, obviously they're going to, check it out.
Sure.
What other resources?
So we've got our webpage is www.westcore.co. We couldn't afford the M, a little too much money for the just .co. And then we've also got a Facebook page. We do put a lot of our information. We also have a PayPal donate now button on our WESTCORE page. On the website, we have most of our updated quick information on Facebook. That seems to be the easiest route to get information out there as far as cut days, things that we're doing, information concerning the Forest Service decisions. Get your point across without screaming it.
Absolutely. And so you mentioned a PayPal thing. Because you're a nonprofit, this can be a write-off, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything over $250 you can write off on your taxes. We also are selling T-shirts. All that money goes directly back into the club and basically pays for saws, bar oil, fuel, chains. All
the stuff.
Yeah, all the maintenance stuff required. Our PPE. We're wearing chainsaw chaps now, and like I say, all our safety gear. We hand out safety glasses, earplugs for all the riders. We also do BLM cleanup days when we're not clearing trail. So that's been working out pretty good. But yeah, it's all your money goes. If you care to donate, all that money goes directly back into the club.
Right on. And like I said, they're out doing stuff all the time. When is your next cut day? Do you have
yeah, we've actually got it up on the Facebook page. We're going to be cutting 9 a.m. Saturday off of Dave Wooden Divide Road. We're going to go try to finish out Forest Fence and kind of go from there and see what we're going to do. We're looking for anywhere from 2 to 6 people to show up. Would be awesome. Like I say, just bring some gloves and probably not goggles, some safety glasses. Like I say, we're kind of getting in the sappy trees and stuff. You don't want to tear up your nice motocross gear. It's definitely work, but we're working off of bikes, and we do have permission to be on the trails legally before they open as per our volunteer agreement. So it's working out really well, and it's a kind of nice opportunity to be up on the mountain pretty early in the season legally, and doing some good work for a lot of different people, for sure.
Absolutely. What's the
because Forest Fence, is it legally open?
It is.
It's already legally open to everybody.
Yeah.
The rest of the trails up, not the rest, but a lot of trails up there are closed till July 1st, right?
Yeah, most of them are open from April, or about half of them are open from April, and then there's a select few trails that, due to wildlife, that are only open from July 1st till Labor Day weekend. I can post the specifics up as far as what trails and are open on and what dates, but yeah, it's something we want to respect and too, and also that there are other user groups up there, and like I say, the hunters come in the fall, and we want to kind of give them their space and whatnot. But and yeah, summer's here. Let's enjoy it.
Yeah, and Unit 61 for hunting is up there where we're talking about on the Uncompahgre Plateau, and that's one of the big reasons for the wildlife closure is because it's a trophy unit. Guys wait 12, 14 years to get a tag, and we really don't want to ruin their experience, right? Like, I'm not a hunter. A lot of people are, especially here in Western Colorado. And if you, for instance, let's just say you saved up all your money, you waited 10 years to take a trip to Montrose to ride dirt bikes, which would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then someone came in and ruined that because they were just having fun being yahoos, you'd be pretty upset. So that's the situation with the hunters. We want to respect them, and they're right. There's a ton of land out there to ride on. The trails that have the really short opening are phenomenal, and you definitely want to get out here and ride them. But we want to do it legally and at the right time. Like I said, that's coming really soon, which is crazy to think that you're now getting up there cut those trails.
Yeah, usually we're almost done cutting by Memorial Day weekend, and we just had one cut day. I think the last snow report I looked at said we're at a 300% snowpack for this area. So it's just, it's been a crazy year, but please try to, give us some space and let us cut the trails out for you, so you're not having to deal with greasy log hops, that are 3 feet off the trail. And also, please don't reroute the trail trying to go around the logs. And also the people that, can't make the logs end up spinning and kind of putting some big divots on either side of the log. So it really becomes a kind of a big mess but like I said, we're doing the best we can. We're going to get out there as hot and heavy as we can as far as trying to get everything banged out, but please be patient with us.
Christian Mills, he asked, what coverage area do y'all serve? So
so basically we're kind of up and down the west slope, but our primary, like as per our volunteer agreement, we handle all the single track on the Uncompahgre Plateau, the south end. The Junction guys, Blue Cliff Rattlers, they handle kind of the north end of their stuff. But so we've got all the single track on the southern end. Also down by Silverjack Reservoir, we have volunteer agreement for Nate Creek, Luke Creek, however you want to call it, and then on the other side of that, Alpine Trail. So we're that's kind of our backyard. And
right on.
But in addition to that, we also do partner with the Forest Service. So it's like we're not the only ones out there. They do carry a fair bit of the load, but we do assist them quite a bit.
Gotcha. Yeah, and my wife works for the Forest Service, and I've been involved with the Forest Service for a long time because of that. And then her dad worked for him. And one thing that I think a lot of people don't understand is that the Forest Service and the BLM, they're federal agencies, and they have to deal with every user group out there, like all of them. And it's an incredibly hard job. And I know that we get super frustrated when trails get closed or we get hemmed in and things like that. It's very frustrating. What you have to understand is that these people are working with this huge population, and I mean huge because it's not just Montrose area, it's not just Grand Junction area, it's from around the country. Guys coming here to recreate, hunt, whatever, mine, all the things that they do, and it's really hard to manage that. And the Forest Service and BLM's budgets for recreation get smaller and smaller and smaller every year. You can thank our administration, both versions of it, for that.
They always want them to do more with way less, and so that's where groups like us come in and help us out.
Right, and so that's where these guys are really doing a great job. And giving them money is awesome. Helping is really huge. And if you don't run a saw, that's okay, right? Like if you don't know how to run a chainsaw, you can still help, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had people ask, like on our cleanup days, most of our cut days are done off of dirt bikes. So we do have some people that want to help, but don't have a motorcycle. Unfortunately, we kind of move a little quick. We can cover like a 30-mile day for us is pretty good and clear up to 100 logs. But we try to schedule 2 cleanup days a year on the BLM land. Our last cleanup day out by Flat Top, we got 20,000 pounds of trash picked up out of there.
20,000, that's huge. It was just, you guys have a roll-off out there?
Yeah, so the BLM helped us out with a roll-off. On that cleanup day, it was close enough to the dump where we can make trips to the dump, but we do have a dump trailer that the Delta Montrose Electric Association donated to us.
Oh, nice.
It was one of their older ones, and they say, yeah, it's a fixer-upper, but yeah, we'll take it. So it's been helping out quite a bit. But yeah, so in the spring and fall, we do our 2 cleanup days, and you don't have to have a dirt bike. You don't have to have an ATV. Just show up, and like I said, we just basically just picking up trash. And for the knuckleheads out there that dump trash on BLM lands, there's, who you are. Anyways, but yeah, so our next BLM cleanup day, we're shooting for probably mid-October.
Okay.
We'll have a date specifically, but it'll be in the Montrose area, and we'll go from there. But yeah, if you want to show up as far as cutting days, we ask basically, that you bring your own bike, but you don't have to have any skills. We're not riding fast. We're riding really slow, and it's a great way to learn the trail system too, because we're going pretty slow, and we can talk about where we're at and what's going on, and that trail's over there, and this, that, and the other thing. But yeah, just show up and we can, if you're willing to pull some limbs off that we cut or willing to roll the big stumps, it's whatever you're up for. So we're completely flexible. Yeah, the more help the better for sure.
Yeah, like I said, it just because you don't know how to run a chainsaw or just because you've never helped clear trail, it's all about manpower.
Yeah.
It's like there's some giant trees across these trails, and some that are like just a big haystack of matchsticks everywhere. And just having lots of folks there to help just move the stuff after they cut it is a big deal.
Absolutely.
And so Chuck Group asks, how have fires impacted the trails? Have you seen an impact there?
Luckily, we haven't. Just outside of Silverjack on Alpine Trail, there was a little burn there a couple of years back, but in our area, just on the southern Uncompahgre Plateau, and then just like I said, that little spot over by Alpine, we've been incredibly lucky. Down by Durango, I know they got hit pretty hard.
What about that big one that hit the plateau? It's in between the bull draw.
Yeah, the bull draw fire was kind of on the north end of the plateau,
yeah.
Up in the Bookcliff Rattlers territory. I think it might have affected a couple trails, but it wasn't. It didn't knock anything out. I mean, you'll see an area and it'll be black and burned out, but the trails are still open. You can still ride them. It's just a little different color scenery.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we're fortunate here. Like I said, haven't had any big fires in this area. Yeah, exactly. Knock on wood. Fire is natural. It's going to happen eventually. Go ahead.
Yeah, another thing. If you do see, if we clear our trails, we kind of post them up on our page as they're cleared. If you see something that's downfall or needs attention, or like a corner that's blown out or something, please let us know. Feel free to post up on our Facebook page. We'll get it posted up and we'll address it. But that's been a huge tool for us as far as communication. Like I say, with Ryan talking about cutting the trails. Yeah, if you can let us know what trails you cut out, or let there's some ATV user groups out there. If you can communicate to that, letting people know what's been done or what needs to be done is huge. It makes our job go so much easier and so much quicker.
Right, because they don't. Everybody. Let's make this real clear. Everybody in WESTCORE has a real job also, right? So everybody is, yeah, exactly, or 3. And so everybody out there is already putting in overtime to make this happen. And the more directed advice and appropriate advice that they can get is really helpful. So like saying, for instance, Buck Trail is awesome, but there's a huge log down across right at blah, 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 right? So that's going to help them know what's going on. Really helps. Obviously, everybody here watching this is watching it on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Go to their Facebook page. It's just WESTCORE, right? Just all one word.
That's it.
Hunt that down. I will put a link in the comments for it, and on YouTube, I'll have a link in the description for that. Like the page. Try to join. I think because it's a moderated group to keep the yahoos out.
Yeah, we basically we do pre-scan all our posts just to make sure there's no spammers or no, hey, my Nigerian prince buddy is going to send me a lottery ticket type of thing. We're just trying to keep that out of there. But yeah, we will. There's 4 admins, so we will look at the post, and if it's appropriate, we'll post up. We don't do any for sale stuff like that. But yeah, if you see a log down, take a picture of it, post it up, and we'll be absolutely love to it. And also too, ride pics. Like we love to see people enjoying Western Colorado, enjoying it. Please take pictures of ride pics, and you get everybody out there enjoying Western Colorado, however that occurs, on foot or horseback or mountain bike, dirt bike, ATV, you name it, enjoy it, share it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And their page is awesome. I love the fact that they moderate it and kind of keep, they screen people who join and then screen the post, which is really, really nice because it keeps all that junk out, that negativity and all the that can happen on Facebook. So make sure you go over there, check in. They'll approve you.
It's easy.
It's not like it's not like you have to.
We got a 4-page contract.
You got to do a backflip in front of a camera before you're allowed. But yeah, definitely check them out because it's huge. Then check out WESTCORE.co, right?
Yeah.
WESTCORE.co online. Like Jamie on Facebook.
I don't know if I'd like her too much.
But yeah, these guys are working really, really, really hard to keep our trails open and be advocates for motorized use, and it's super duper important. So Jay Coleman says, "What's up, WESTCORE? Thanks for what you do." Joe Boonavac, the trails are always great around here. Thank you guys for all the hard work. Hopefully, I can get out and lend a hand soon. That would be awesome. Guys, if you haven't ridden here on this forest, you need to come do it, and you'll experience what it's like to have a trail that's well maintained. They don't like sanitize, and it's not like they're going out and like taking little rocks out of the trail.
We're not landscapers. We're heavy movers.
Yeah, they're just taking the things out that cause people big problems, right? And really, it's more about what causes trails to get damaged, right?
Yeah, we've had people say, well, why don't you guys leave the logs and this and that? It's fun. Not everybody can hop a 3-foot log, a wet aspen greasy log. And so you got to think of kind of the full spectrum of riders. You got to think of the kids on the little KXs, the little 80s and the 125s and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, there are those A-level people that can hop a 4-foot log, on the pegs, no problem, but most of us can't. So we'll leave the ones that are typically on the ground, but if it's a danger, if it's going to cause somebody injury, we're probably going to take it and get it cleared out.
Or cause people to have to go around it. That's a huge problem with our community, I think, is that if you can't ride it, you're like there anyway. You're like, I gotta get it. And so you start going around things, and you could argue, well, it just makes a trail, blah blah. Anyway, the reality is the Forest Service has to deal with that. The BLM, if it's on BLM, and if you're a mountain biker and you start seeing all these end arounds things, they start getting upset, right?
Stay the trail.
Yeah, stay on the stinking trail. Keep single track single for all you mountain bikers out there. It's it's not tender. So we want to keep the single track single, and that's why they're doing what they're doing, because obviously a lot of guys are like, oh no, I like the big. You know what? Come out to Peach Valley. There's a enduro cross track out there with the biggest logs you've ever seen.
Sure. You
can jump over whatever you want to jump over. There's trials courses. There's lots of things out there. They leave some of them in the trail. It's awesome because my little kids have been able to practice on little ones that you guys leave, which is really cool. So yeah, they're doing a good job, and they're keeping it to where we can keep these trails. If they don't maintain them, they're probably not going to get maintained. Like I said, the Forest Service is doing their best, but it's limited what they get to do.
Yeah, like I say, their time and money is limited, just like the rest of us, and they're doing the best they can. So we're assisting them as much as we can, for sure. But like I said, this has just been a bonkers season. Like I said, we're barely getting started, and usually we're way done by now. So it's going to be a couple minutes before we can get everything knocked out up there.
Right on. Yeah. So it is 8 o'clock. I got to get to work. Jamie just got done working. So he's going to go home and probably relax a little bit. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Jamie, really appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Mark.
Means a lot. And guys, get out, spread the gospel of two wheels. spread happiness and peace and love and no negativity. Get rid of that stuff on Facebook and all that. And really, really hope you get out and ride your dirt bikes.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Wes.